welcome to Doll Belly Knits, the weekly, sometimes weekly, vlog on knitting and crocheting and other crafty things with a highlight on reusing, recycling, and grabbing what you have on hand to make beautiful objects. It has been 2 weeks since my last recording, and that's because I haven't had a lot to show. The heat wave continues in the UK, and it really has broken my spirit for wanting to knit or crochet or have anything that is heavy and woolly on my body. I'm actually wearing flip-flops and shorts and dresses, and that is just so not normal here. And it has been, like I said, broken my spirit a little bit. I am happy today, though, like I was in the last episode, that we had a little bit of rain. Last night there was a pretty big rainstorm. There was thunder and lightning, which again is another rare thing for this part of the country. I can probably count on my hand the number of times I've witnessed a thunderstorm and a thunderstorm with lightning living here. So we've had one last night and maybe one last week as well. So it has been very, very hot, very humid as well, and it just doesn't make for good knitting weather. And if you're an Instagram user, you've probably seen lots of other crafters switching to crochet because it seems to be more portable and, I don't know, summery in some ways. But yeah, so I haven't had much to show, and it has been very busy. It's been end of school year here, so we've had some other things going on. But I do have some stuff to show, some progress that I've made on the one object that I have been working on, and that's what I would like to share with you today. So we'll get right to it. First and only thing, sorry, I reached out of the way, is the scarf that I was making for my daughter's birthday. So I knew I wasn't going to finish it, but I at least wanted to finish the logo part of it. If you saw last episode, you know that this was a request from her to make a scarf that is based on an anime show, fairy tale. So there's a character that wears a particular plaid scarf, white and gray plaid scarf, and she also wanted the logo of the show incorporated. And I'll insert pictures again just to give you some frame of reference as to what it is that I was trying to achieve. But I knew I wasn't going to finish the entire scarf before her birthday. I just wanted to get the logo done, and I was able to do that, and she's very happy with how the logo turned out, which makes me very happy. So since it's color work, there's all little baubles attached. But yeah, so here's the scarf. Here's the gray and white plaid part of it. And actually quite a bit done since the last time I showed it to you. Let me try to unfurl this. So here's the logo. I think it's like a dragon of some kind. Here's a little dragon tail down there. I will flatten this out and insert a picture of it as well, because as you can see, I have a lot of curling, and I've put this out on the show notes for the for this show. There's a group in Ravelry for this show. If you go to the Ravelry page and search Doll Belly Knits, you'll find the group, and I put the show notes up there, and there's also conversation and questions. And I did bring this to my own knit group and asked them what they thought about how I could maybe fix the curling part. And I did get some good suggestions. I'm probably going to end up crocheting a border around it to try to flatten it out some. Also, there's, washing it and using a lot of fabric softener to make it relax. So hopefully that part will be sorted out when I am finished. But regardless, she's happy. That makes me happy. Of course, it makes me happy. So that's that. I am using a 2.5 ChiaoGoo red lace, which is actually excellent because this is a smaller yarn. It's a Stylecraft 4-ply, special 4-ply acrylic, so that's probably another issue that I'm going to have with in terms of trying to block it and keep it flat. But it's a smaller, well, it's 4-ply, and I usually use 4-ply for socks and things, so to be making a scarf or, you know, somewhat larger of an accessory, it has been a little bit difficult, but the pointy tips of the ChiaoGoo have made it a lot easier to deal with this. So my plan for right now, yeah, so that's not too bad. So like I was going to do this so you can see the logo, right? And then do the rest around. This actually comes all the way down to, I'm sitting, so if I stand up, it'll probably be right at my waist. So then I would need enough to wrap around again and have an equal length. So I'm at the point now where all I have to do is the repetitive boxes here. And that's, you know, okay, and it's going pretty quick. It's just not that quick. And with the weather the way that it is, she's obviously not going to wear it anytime soon. So I'm going to put this aside and hopefully finish it up for her in time when the cooler weather rolls around, which hopefully will be sooner rather than later. But I want to put this aside so I can start working on other projects that have fallen off the boat, because their deadlines are coming up soon, and I also need to get other projects started and going. Okay, put that away in my, thunder, in my beautiful British Airways bag. Right, like I said, Heatwave continues, and I haven't really been interested in knitting or crocheting. Not that I'm not interested in it, just the thought of it being on my body has been, no, I'm not interested. What I have been doing instead is reading. And I am normally a avid reader, but I've been reading a lot recently. My favorite things to read are detective novels, detective crime, bordering horror type novels. Particularly, I enjoy the Harry Hole series by Joe Nesbo. And I also enjoy the Harry Bosch series by Michael Connelly. So my two favorite detectives are both named Harry. Sometimes that does make it a little bit confusing when I start reading a book, because I tend to read several books at the same time. So I could be reading one and then pick up the other, and it says Harry in the book, and then I have to reorient myself to what I'm reading, which actually isn't difficult, because if you're familiar with Joe Nesbo, Harry Hole novels take place in Norway, whereas Michael Connelly, Harry Bosch novels take place in LA in the United States. I also was able to recently get my hands on what is, for me, the next novel in the series of DCI Banks by Peter Robinson. All of his books take place in a fictional town or village in Yorkshire, where I live, so I enjoy those as well. I do notice, though, that just like the heat has been affecting me and not wanting to knit or crochet, what you read a lot of can affect you as well. And I do think I'm having a little too much murder and mayhem in my reading, so I did check out a Nora Roberts book. So maybe a little love story will lighten the mood and keep me on the positive. So we'll see about that. But I'd be interested to know what it is that you like to read. Feel free to pop a comment in the comments box below. Tell me what it is that you like to read, the particular genre, or even a particular author and a character. Additionally, I'd be interested to know if you do like I do, where when I am in the mood to knit and crochet, I actually listen to the audio version of the books. That way I can do two things that I love at the same time. and I have listened to quite a few audiobooks that way. I used to be very resistant to that idea. I normally don't like when people read to me. I'm a visual person, so I want to see the letters and the words myself. And I've actually had an issue before where I had listened to an audio novel, borrowed it from the library, and when the library, when the lending period was over and the audiobook was taken back, it wasn't available again. I wanted to finish the book. I was actually able to go to the library and get the book. It happened to be on the shelf. But I couldn't find my place in the book because I had never seen the words before. But anyway, I normally don't like to listen to people read to me because I do like to see the words myself. However, I realized that I can't read and knit at the same time. So I gave it a go, and I actually found that I enjoy it, especially if the narrator is a good choice, a good fit. Some of the audiobooks that I've listened to that I really enjoyed the narrators were, most recently, Michael Connelly and his Harry Bosch novels. If you're unaware, Harry Bosch has been made into a series, an Amazon Prime series, and Titus Welliver plays the lead character of Hieronymus Bosch. So I guess they did some kind of deal with him, and the last several audio books in the series have actually been read by Titus Welliver. So that was very cool and very awesome, and it really added to the experience of the audio. Additionally, I think I listened to, it was the recent Dan Brown book, Origins? Yeah, Origins. So that's the book series that has the character, what's the character's name? Oh, that's horrible, I'm blanking. Wait a minute. I can't think of it. Anyway, Dan Brown did the Da Vinci Code, which was made into a movie that had Tom Hanks as the lead character of the book. So whoever the narrator was for this latest book, Origin, to me, he sounded like Tom Hanks. It wasn't Tom Hanks, but he sounded like Tom Hanks. So that, again, added to the experience of the audiobook. Anyway, that was a very long-winded conversation, off topic, but not really, because it is related to how I spend my time knitting and crocheting, that I like to be able to kill two birds with one stone, so to speak, and be able to get in some good quality reading as well as good quality knitting time. So yeah, leave me a comment in the comment sections below. Let me know what you like to listen to or read, and how you go about, what's your knitting and crocheting regimen or rituals look like. I'd be really interested to hear about that. Okay, so like I've been incessantly talking about this heat wave, which, by the way, I don't know if you can notice, let me see, I can point out right here on the floor is actually a whiteboard that has warps. Whether it's just aged by itself or the heat that has been plaguing us, it's warped a little bit, so we have it laying on the floor here with some books on top of it, trying to get it back into shape. But I'm going to have to go ahead and pull out the wedding blanket that I have put aside in favor of my daughter's birthday scarf. But my time is running down. I have about 6 weeks left to finish it, and I'm not even 50% of the way done. Of course, because it's a C2C blanket, once you turn the halfway point, it'll go faster and faster because the lines are getting shorter and shorter. But still, I am cognizant of my time ticking away, and I want to get that done. Additionally, my plan, if you saw the last few episodes, is to try and get the children who are were part of the crochet group to put some stitches into this blanket, as this blanket is a gift, wedding gift for their teacher. So I thought that would make the blanket even more special and memorable. So I have it here. I do. It is in my Winnie the Pooh bag. Which, yeah, you know, as an aside, I know that each time I start this show, I talk about how I like to reuse and recycle and grab what I have on hand. It's not just reusing or recycling the things that I have on hand into the project that I use. It's also using what I have on hand to maybe help me keep the project in an orderly fashion. For those of you who are repeat viewers, you've seen the ice cream tubs that I use for my socks. And yeah, so I do love the knitting bags that are being produced out there. There are some really cute combinations and fabrics, especially when you start adding the complementary stitch markers. I mean, I totally get it, and I'm not above wanting those things, but it's just in my heart to use what I have and maybe save the money for a more special skein of yarn or for something else, you know. But additionally, the things that I already have in my house have special, or not special, but they do have memories attached to them because I use them for something else. I mean, obviously, ice cream tubs, probably not that special of a memory because it was ice cream, I ate it, it's gone. Although, I specifically, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it to you. Let me see. Nope, okay, I can't get it. There were these tiny little titchy tubs of ice cream, and I purposely bought it just because I knew that it was a flavor that only I wanted to try, and then it would be a tiny little box for little sewing notions. I have my little scissors, my needles, and some stitch markers inside it. So anyway, this bag was bought for me by a friend, Diana, when we used to work together in the pediatric office a long time ago. Actually used to be a nurse and had a real job. Anyway, she was a super huge Winnie the Pooh Tigger fan, and I kind of caught on to that with her. And so yeah, this has got a nice little memory for me that every time I see it, it makes me think of her. Additionally, that was where and how I met my husband, through the office. So yeah, not only do I have a way to keep my crocheting and knitting organized, I get to relive some really nice memories every time I pick it up. Additionally, my mom just sent this to me. This is a bag that a sheet set came in, and she sent it to me just because she knew that I like to, you know, use these things, reuse them in my knitting. So yeah, who doesn't like to receive nice gifts from their mom when they're really thoughtful? Which my mom is really thoughtful, totally thoughtful. She is a works of service person. That's her love language. She knows little things about you, and she will make sure that those things that she knows about you are incorporated into the things that she does for you and that she may purchase for you. And my mom is just the best mom ever. So she sent me this bag, and that scarf that I'm working on, like I showed you, is color work. So I've had all these little balls wound up and cut off here and there depending on whether I needed them or not. So they are all tucked inside this little bag to keep them organized for when I need them to use for their scarf. British Airways bag. Obviously, we went on British Airways. Whether this was the first time that my husband and I visited London, or whether it was something that they handed out to the kids while we were on one of the flights, transatlantic flights, I don't remember, but I know that there was a good time involved in that. So anyway, that's my take on things when I try to organize stuff, and yeah, that's just how I do. That's just me. So anyway, back to the crochet project. You've seen this before, and it is large enough that I can't really show it all to you, but Essentially, it's a C2C blanket. Oh God, putting it out on my lap already, I'm starting to feel the heat. Ooh, look at that color change. The sun keeps coming in and out, so hopefully that won't mess the video up too bad, but we'll see. Ooh, it's when I hold the blanket up. That's kind of weird. Right, okay, so it's an all green C2C blanket because green is his favorite color. So I am using various acrylics that I have in my stash. I have had to buy a couple because I just ran out of all the green that I had, but that's what I'm doing, and I'm gonna have to continue on with that. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna have to get a couple fans and like have them strategically positioned. I can though, that is crazy. The C2C blanket, since it's worked as like, it's worked like a triangle. That's because we've always called it triangle blanket. I've been doing this since like forever and didn't make the mental connection that it's now called a C2C blanket. Just like I've been doing reverse single crochet forever, and now it's all of a sudden it's called crab stitch. Okay, so anyway, because it's worked like a triangle, it's kind of worked, when you crochet it, it's almost like you're working on an angle, and you can push it off the side of your legs. So it is a doable summer project, despite the fact that it's an actual blanket done in worsted weight acrylic yarn. So I'm gonna pull this out, as I have done, and I'm gonna get started on that again. I am using a Hiya crochet hook. It is a 5mm or an H in the US. I love this hook. I know I've said it before. I kind of happened on this by accident for my 40th birthday. So now you know I'm at least 40. My family took me to the seaside as a weekend getaway, and there was this cute little knitting, crochet, embroidery shop along the seafront, and I actually was working on, so my birthday's near Halloween, and my daughter wanted to be a cat for Halloween that year. So I figured, just crochet her a tail, no problem. Well, for some reason, I brought the yarn with me and didn't have the hook. So I needed the hook. So I went into the store and I perused, and this was the first time I had seen Hiya as a brand. Because I used to be a Susan Bates monogamist, I don't know, fanatic, I'm not sure what word to use. Like, that's the only crochet hook I would use. Originally, it was the only crochet hook I would use because it was the only crochet hook I could use. There was just something about the hook and the flatness of the hook part of the tip that made it so that I could successfully crochet. The boy needles are a little bit fatter and their tip isn't as hooked, so I found that when I was an early crocheter, the yarn would just kind of slip off the hook for me all the time, and it became very frustrating. So Susan Bates was the only thing that I would use because it was the only thing I could use. As I got more experience as a crocheter, a little bit older, I could go ahead and use a boy if that's what was available, but it still wasn't my preference. If I had my druthers, it would be a Susan Bates hook. Now, if I had my druthers, it would be a Hiya hook. Like, there is just something about this that is so smooth, and I love working with it, and it seems ridiculous, but I know that there are people out there who also have the same feelings about particular tools that they use in their craft and trade. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below what's your favorite tool to use, either in knitting or crocheting, or maybe there's like, you know, a particular yarn needle or embroidery needle that you like to use to finish off and weave in your ends. I definitely would love to know what your favorites are, so leave me a comment in the comment section below. But yeah, I would totally switch over to Hiya's completely, but I'm not going to go out and just buy a whole set. I got plenty of crochet hooks available to me. So like, unless it was like a gift or something that somebody bought me, this is my one and only Hiya hook, which means it's super special, and it means I keep it safe and nobody else can touch it. It's mine, all mine. Another project I plan on bringing out of pseudo hibernation is the Christmas knitting that I've been working on for hubby. I am so close to finishing it that I have been yearning to finish it, kind of like that, like, you know, you're so close, you can see the finish line. So I'm definitely going to be picking that out of hibernation and working on that, and that way I can get other Christmas projects on the needles. I am a summer Christmas knitter. I get things started early. I have plans, so I can get things done by the time Christmas comes around, or even a little bit earlier, so that I don't have that stress on me for the big day. Another reason I'm going to be pulling that out and working on it is Stephen West is having a contest of where he wants you to take pictures of your whips and put them up on Instagram, and he's going to pick a winner. So yes, I am not above, you know, entering a contest. I get that fever too every once in a while. It's like buying a lottery ticket. So I definitely am going to be pulling that out so I can get that up on Instagram and enter his contest. Go ahead to Instagram and look at his posts, and you too can enter the contest. I'm not even sure what he's giving away, but it's Stephen West, so who cares? Right. Usually for the show, I include a section called Magical Memories. I think this time it's more like bittersweet memory. I haven't been recording because we have been extremely busy with end of the school year stuff. My youngest daughter has graduated from primary school, so we've had quite a bit of, you know, things going on where you're getting teacher presents ready. There's been the end of the school year production, which she was fabulous and complete. Of course, to me, she was the star of the show, but she actually was a leading character, if not the leading character in the show. She had the most lines, and some of those lines were pretty difficult. So I was really proud of her, and it's been, like I said, bittersweet to know that she is progressing on to secondary school, and she's not so little anymore, and she's growing up quicker than I would like her to. And we're leaving behind our favorite teacher for who I've been making the wedding blanket for. So that's been pretty sad as well. I mean, I'm sure he's very happy to see her progress on as a student, but we really love him, and it's going to be sad not having him next year, which makes, you know, making this blanket for him even more special, and I'm really glad that I'm doing it, and fingers crossed I will get it done on time for the beginning of the school year. But not so much looking forward to the secondary school. Honestly, our experience with secondary school here has not been nice. Specifically the school bus that transports them to and from the secondary school. I personally never took a school bus. I walked to school up until high school, but in America, high school is later than it is here. I'm trying to, like, in America, high school starts in what we call ninth grade. It would be year 10 here. So it's later in time. You're older when you enter that period. And I didn't take a school bus. I went right on public transportation. So I knew and expected, you know, maybe some not nice things living in a large urban setting on public transportation. However, if I didn't like what was happening on the bus or the train or whatever, I could get off, or I could, you know, tell the driver that there was a problem. That doesn't seem to be the case here. with these school buses and secondary school. The kids are kind of trapped on the bus, and there's just the driver, and he, of course, is looking at the road ahead of him, which is where you want him to be looking, but behind him there's like an entire Lord of the Flies situation happening. So we haven't been very happy with that, and I'm not looking forward to having yet another one of my children experiencing that. So honestly, I don't think I'm going to let that happen. I think I'm going to be driving them to and from school, which is a burden on me, but it's a burden that's, worth it. I don't even see it as a burden. It's kind of like, this is just what has to happen at this point in time. I also have been hearing from other adults, other British adults, that kind of was how it was for them as well, that the bus was not nice. And it just blows my mind that a bus that is supposed to be designated solely for the use of children is probably less safe than public transportation with adult strangers. It just doesn't seem right to me. So I'm very interested in hearing what other people's experiences may have been. So again, if you would go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below, I would like to know what your experiences were riding the school bus to and from secondary school. I don't know what knowing what your experience in the past was like will do for me today, but it's mind-blowing to me that that's the way that it is. So anyway, if you want to comment, please feel free to do so. I would be happy to read them and see what it's been like. But again, that's kind of why it's been bittersweet, not necessarily magical memories over this past 2 weeks. It's another reason that I haven't recorded in a while, just because we've been so wrapped up in end of the school year stuff and these new difficulties and things that we're preparing to take on in the next coming weeks when school starts up again. But now that it is summer holidays and school is behind us for a little while, like I said, I'm going to be pulling out some of these projects and getting started on them. And hopefully I'll be able to have stuff to show you on a weekly basis like it has been in the past, and get back to recording on a weekly basis. Because I really do appreciate you guys who keep coming back and listening to me ramble. Again, if you are a new viewer, hopefully there's something here that you see that you like, that, kind of touches on how you are maybe as a crafter, speaks to you a little bit. And if you are new and you like what you see, please give the video a thumbs up, click like, and click the little bell so that you're informed each time that a new video comes out, the subscription button, all that other stuff that you're kind of obligated as a YouTuber to say. But I really just appreciate that you guys keep coming back and listening to some crazy American lady chat at you. But not only am I a crazy American lady, I'm a crazy mom. I'm one of those moms who has no intention of allowing her children to just lounge around for the next 6 weeks before school starts again. Much to my children's dismay, I have given them 2 tasks that they have to perform over the next 6 weeks. I'm a mean mom. I'm one of those people. It's just 6 weeks is such a long time to sit and vegetate that, like I said with the reading, you read the same thing over and over again. You're reading crime, you're reading people are being shot and stabbed, and it affects your brain. If you sit around and you do nothing but vegetate, it affects your brain. So what I have on schedule for them is that 1, they have to make something over the next 6 weeks. And I've told them that they need to come with a plan so we can discuss it to see if it's actually something that's viable, and to possibly get them anything that they may need to do their project. So far we have some sewing on deck. So So that'll be fun and interesting to see how that works out. Additionally, second thing that they have to do is to provide me with some ideas and some kind of details about where they may like to go for holiday come October. We have the half-term break in October, so we got to start planning now. Actually, I'm sure there are people who already have their half-term break booked, but we're a little on the slower side. We tend to do things at the last minute. But recently, the girls have been kind of more vocal in the fact that they would like to be involved in some of the planning of where they go. So fine, here's your opportunity. Tell me where you want to go. Give me some details about the things that we may see. And you know what? If you can get me some prices for planes or trains or hotels, that would be even better, but not a necessity. So yeah, the girls have to work on that over the summer. And so far, we have looks like Athens, Greece may be a destination that we may visit. Although, oh God, those wildfires, terrible. My girls had said there's wildfires burning in Greece, and I was like, get out of town. Like, being from America and having seen wildfires in California and the Southwest, when they said Greece, I was like, that don't even make any sense. But, oh, it's terrible, absolutely terrible. So heart and prayers go out to those people. And I know I have friends from my old neighborhood who have family who live there. So definitely, gosh, it's just, yeah. Pray if you pray, do whatever, send vibes, because that's just devastating for them. And, you know, Greece don't need it. Those people don't need it. But yeah, what are your plans for summer? Are you a mean mom like me and you won't let your kids vegetate all summer long? Let me know. Put a comment in the comment box below and we can chat about summer holiday plans. So until next time, hopefully next week, I hope you have some happy and cool knitting or crocheting or whatever craft you're working on. I hope you stay healthy, and I hope you get out there and make some magical memories of your own. See you next time. Bye!